Parallel compression, what is it, how to use it, and why the use this mixing technique. In this video, I give you all the answers you need in 3 minutes to start using parallel compression in your mixes. Before we start, I'd like to let you know that in the description, you can download a free ebook on all the basics of vocal mixing in the field of pop and hip-hop music. You've got the information. Okay, let's start with a simple definition. In audio and especially in music mixing, parallel compression is an advanced mixing technique which consists in blending two identical sources of which one of the two is dry or simply not compressed, and the other one heavily compressed, even crushed. In other words, let's say that you have a track that you want to compress with parallel compression. In this case, you will not use this audio track in itself to compress it. What you're gonna do instead is to duplicate this track and compress the new track. And when I say compressed, I'm not talking about a natural and smooth compression. You have to go hard. You can't be afraid to overcompress because that's exactly what you have to do. Now the question is how to set up parallel compression in your mixing session. There are actually two ways to set it up. The first way is simply to duplicate the audio track itself. So here in Pro Tools, I'm gonna click on duplicate, and now I can adjust the parameters of my compressor. And to find the right balance between the two tracks, I will first set the volume of the parallel track to -infinite, and while playing my mix, I will slowly raise the volume fader until I find the sweet spot. This way is quick and easy to set up, but the problem is that if you change anything in your dry track, you will have to change the parallel track as well. I think you can quickly get lost and disorganized. The second way is to use the auxiliary principle. So first thing to do, create an auxiliary track, activate the solo save to hear it even when you solo a dry track. Then you can choose your input bus, let's say bus 20. Now you can go to the send section of your dry track and you choose bus 20. Turn up the send fader to 0 and set the send to pre. Why pre? Because even if I change the volume of this track, the send volume to the parallel track will remain the same. This will allow you to drive your parallel compressor with a stable and even input gain. And now, same as with the other technique, I'm going to set up the parameters of my compressor, lower the volume of the parallel track to the infinite, and slowly increase it while playing my mix. The advantage of this technique is that it's more accurate in the process because you always have exactly the same signal in the dry and parallel track. But the weak point is that it can be very time consuming to set up, but honestly, if you have a quality template for your mixes, it shouldn't be a problem. Here are now the usual settings for parallel compression. For the attack time, you should go for something very quick between 1 and 5 milliseconds. For the release time, the best values are usually between 50 and 200 milliseconds. Not too short to avoid any pumping effect, but not too long to let the signal breathe a little. For the ratio, you can go for something quite aggressive, like 10:1 for example. And finally, for the threshold, there is no typical value, but you should target a gain reduction of -15 dB at least to really squash the signal. But in the end, the real question is, why do we do that? Why don't we just compress the signal and go with that? The answer is actually quite simple. Because parallel compression creates a unique sound. It's more powerful, punchier, and more robust than classic compression. This way of compressing also gives more character and energy to the processed signal. Here's for you some audio examples with all the settings of the compression. Oh, and by the way, here are my two favorite tools, the CLA76 and the API 2500. Real monsters, for real.
Lately I've been thinking about life and its meaning. Wish you were here with me tonight. Here with me tonight.
That is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. I hope you understand now what is parallel compression and also why and how to use it. Before you leave, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you need more information about music mixing. See you soon.